Hello everyone. Welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with one word substitutions. Now, this is part 9. In this session, we are going to discuss personality or words related to personality. So, in this session, we will discuss first of all definition of personality and then words related to personality, that is one word substitutions related to personality. Now, personality refers to person. So, whatever a person is and by what name a person is called in this world, that is known as is his personality. So, in one word substitution, we are going to read some words which depicts the personality. Now, let us have some overview of personality. Personality refers to the unique set of enduring characteristics. Personality refers to the unique set of enduring characteristics, traits, behaviors, and patterns of thinking that make up an individual's distinctive character. It means when a person is there in the world and there is some identification of that particular person which makes it different from the entire world, that is known as personality. It influences how a person perceives and interacts with the world around them, as well as how they respond to various situations and challenges. In one word substitution, we read names of what the person is known as. So, basically, what type of questions we come across in one word substitutions related to personality, we will be given a sentence and a few options. For example, we will have four options over there, and we have to select that particular option that is the correct word for that group of words. And what we do, that there is a explanation given to us and we have to select that particular name that shows that person, or maybe his profession, his characteristics, his behavior, his traits, etc. So this is how we learn the words related to personality in one word substitution. So let's begin some of them. First one is one who has mixed feelings. That person is known as ambivalent. Now, first of all, we should know the word of MB. MB basically means, or MB basically is used for two people. But ambivalent here refers to a person which has mixed feelings. It means two types of feelings. He can have the negative feeling of for someone. He can have the positive feeling for someone. He can have good feelings, he can have bad feelings. So there are the mixture of feelings in his behavior or in his mind. So that person is known as, or that kind of person is known as ambivalent. Now, one who can work with both hands together. Now, for example, if I'm writing over here, I'm using only my one hand. But if there is a person and he can write with both the hands together, it means he can use his both hands or both of his hands together to do any work, not only for writing, but in some other work as well. For example, if you have seen a movie, in that movie, a person is writing with both of his hands. So that person, that kind of person is known as ambidextrous. Now, dexterous basically refers to skills, or you can say skills with hand or hands, and ambi means two. So ambidextrous refers to a person who is skilled to use either of his hands. So that person is known as ambidextrous. One who is outspoken and outgoing. That person is known as extrovert. Now, extro means outside, and word means you can say words. So, whenever a kind of person is there who is jolly, who is frank, who speaks whatever comes to his mind, whatever comes to his tongue, and he doesn't, you can say, he doesn't take any thing that whether the person whom he is speaking to all these words, whether he will take it right or wrong, but he says anything that comes to his mind or his tongue. He speaks out all of that. That person is known as extrovert. He doesn't keep anything in secret. One who is reserved and conservative, it means there are a few kind of persons. What they do, they are just reserved. They know how to talk, or they don't want to share anything with others. They are not jolly nature. They just keep everything to themselves only. That kind of person is known as introvert. Now, this skill or this personality or this trait, you can say, these types of characteristic in a person also changes with the you can say with the change in the age of a person. For example, when a person is infant, he cannot say anything. That person is introvert. But when he comes to an age of, you can say, 2 to 5 years, you must have seen many children that they are like extrovert. Whatever comes to their mind, they speak out. So those type of children are known as extrovert. And when they come to the age of, you can say, adolescence, or the teenager, they know what to say and what to not. So that type of person is known as ambivert, because now he can balance whatever he wants to say and whatever he does not want to say. So that type of person is known as ambivert. Now let us move to the next one. One who is difficult to please or to convince. It means there are few kind of peoples, or a few kind of peoples. What they do, they are just of a nature, you cannot easily please them, you cannot easily make them happy, you cannot easily entertain them, you cannot easily convince them. They are strict and stern in their behavior. So these type of person are known as fastidious. So fastidious is a kind of person, you cannot easily please him, or you cannot easily convince him for anything. So he will show you the tantrums. So that kind of person is known as fastidious. One who has a strong sixth sense. Now, this type of person is known as psychic. So he has a sharp intuition. He knows what can happen next. So there is a sixth sense in his mind. So that person is known as psychic. One who is mentally unsound. Now, one who is not mentally sound, or he's mentally unsound, or he's not normal like people, so that person is known as psychotic. Now, this word is beginning with p, but the spelling is beginning with p, but p is silent in this word. So the pronunciation of this word is psychic or psychotic. And psychic, psychotic, we are not speaking the word or the spelling of this p in this, because p is silent in these words. One who is addicted to hard drinks, this is known as dipsomaniac. So one who wants to have hard drinks only, or he's addicted to them, that person is known as dipsomaniac. Now let us move to the next one. One who is out to subvert a government. Now, this type of person is known as anarchist. One who is recovering from illness, that person is known as convalescent or convalescent. So he's recovering from illness. That means he is on the positive side of his health. One who abandons his religious faith. Abundance means leaves. So one who leaves his religious faith, that person is known as apostate. A person who is unable to pay his debts. Now, this is not debts. This is debt. Now, what is debt? For example, you have taken a loan from someone and now you are unable to pay that. So, or you are unable to pay that back. So that kind of person is known as insolvent, or we can also say bankrupt for these kind of persons. So a person who is unable to pay his debts, this person is known as insolvent. Now let us move to the next one. One who hates mankind. Now this person is known as misanthrope. Now let us see one thing. We have a word that is misan. So this is a root word for the word hate. Hate means when we don't like someone. And there is another word that is anthropos. This is anthropos. This is anthropos. Now, this is a root word for human. So, hate and human. When we mix these two words with each other or together, for example, if I add this mis or this part, mis as a prefix to anthropos. So misanthropos, it means one who hates human or one who hates mankind. Now, if I add miss with any of the root word like misogynist, so gynae, we know well that gynae is used for women. So misogynist is known as a person who hates women. Uh, there are several other words as well in which we add mis as the prefix, and that will make the word to hate that particular root word for the another suffix of it. Now, one who knows everything, so that person is known as omniscient. Now, omni means complete, and scient refers to science or knowledge. So, omniscient refers to a person who has entire knowledge. Somewhere we relate this term with God because God is omniscient. There are two such more words like omnipotent, and another is omnipresent. Now, you must have heard that God is everywhere. God knows everything. God is the most powerful entity. It means God is omnipotent, God is omnipresent, and God is omniscient. Now, omnipotent means one who is most powerful. It means he is most powerful. It means no one is beyond him in power. And omnipresent, who is everywhere, who is present everywhere, who is everywhere. So we know well that God is everywhere. We believe that God is everywhere. So it means God is omniscient, God is omnipotent, and God is omnipresent. So you must relate these three words with with God, so that you can remember these three terms for the entire of your life, for forever in your life. Now, next of all, it's one who looks on the bright side of things. It means one who is always positive in each and everything. So that person is known as optimist. And one who looks on the dark side of things, it means one who is always negative. That person is known as pessimist. It means whatever situation comes to him, he just relate to relate sorry he just relate that to the negative consequences only. That person is known as pessimist. And one who says everything is fine, everything is well, all is well, and everything will be fine, so that kind of person is known as optimist because he is thinking positive for everything. Now let us move to the next one. One who is more than 100 years old. Now, a person's age, if it is beyond 100 years, that person is known as centenarian. Now, we know well that for 100 years, we call it century. And from this word only, we can get centenarian. It means centenarian. One who loves books. This person is known as bibliophile. One who can throw his voice. This person is known as ventriloquist. Now, locust is somewhere related to a person who talks, whose voice is there. So, one who can throw his voice, one who gives his voiceover for some things or some ads or anything, that person is known as ventriloquist. Or many a times, what happens when a person speaks for anyone else, so that person is also known as ventriloquist. One who is newcomer to a field or activity, it means one who is not experienced. That person is known as neophyte or novice. It means not experienced, one who has no experience at all, so not experienced. That person is known as neophyte or novice. Now let us move to the next one. One who is hard hearted and unfeeling. It means he's unconcerned about anything, whatever happens. He doesn't care. So that person is known as callous. One who often changes his mind. It means he's fickle minded. His mind fluctuates. He doesn't stuck to one thing only. He can choose this, and at the another time he chooses another. So that kind of person is known as fickle minded. A person who collects coins, this person is known as numismatist. One who speaks many languages, this is known as polyglot. Now, one more thing, if we say that one language only, that is monolingual, and two languages, that is bilingual. So there are several words for the language obvious. So for one language only, one who knows only one language, there is monolingual, and one who can speak two languages, there is bilingual. And if we say one who speaks many languages, so poly means multiple, so that person is known as polyglot. So poly means multiple. Now let us move to the next one. A person very reserved in speech, this person is known as reticent. A person who thinks only of himself, that person is known as egoist. So ego means I, and egoist means only me. It means one who speaks only of himself. That person is known as egoist. One who hates or disgusts females. It means a person who does not like women. So that person is known as misogynist, or it can also be called misogynist, but basically the pronunciation for this word is misogynist. So gyne, we know well, is a term for woman, and miso is a term for hate, as we have read earlier as well. So misogynist or misogynist is a person who hates women. One who thinks he's ill all the time. One who thinks that he's ill, he is not feeling well, his BP is low or somewhere like that, that he's not healthy at all. So that type of person is known as hypochondriac. Now let us move to the next one. A person who has a pessimistic view of the world. Now pessimistic, we have already read a word pessimist. It means one who thinks only negative, or one who take all the things negative. Now one who takes all the things negatively. Now, a person who has a pessimistic view of the world, that the world is negative for him. So that person is known as cynic, because he has there in mind that the entire world is his enemy. One who is prone to hurt, that person is known as vulnerable. One who doubts the existence of God. It means he doesn't know whether God is there or not. He's just neutral towards God. That person is known as agnostic. Now there are two types of persons: one who believes God, one who believes in God. So in God, and another one is one who does not believe, who does not believe in God. So there are two type of person. So a person is there, one who believes in God is known as theist, and who does not believe is atheist. So there are two types of person, one who believes and one who believes not. So that person is known as theist and atheist. And some persons are there which are neutral towards God. It means they don't know whether there is God or not. They have no comments over there. So that kind of person is known as agnostic. One who pretends to be what he is not. That person is known as hypocrite. It means he pretends to be someone else. So that person is known as hypocrite. So you can also call it imposter. Now let us move to the next one. One who does not care for art and literature. That person is known as Philistine. One who believes in the power of fate. That person is known as fatalist. One who dies for his country. That person is known as martyr or martyr. Soldiers are basically these type of persons. A person who is skilled in horsemanship. This person is known as equestrian. Now let us move to the next one. One who is not addicted to anything. That person is known as teetotaler. One more thing, if we say that one who does not take alcohol, so that person is also known as teetotaler, one who doesn't take alcohol at all. Now, one who is innocent and unaware of worldly affairs, that person is known as gullible. It means he's very innocent. You can easily convince him, you can easily make him fool. That person is known as gullible. A person who speaks two languages, this person is known as bilingual. And one language, we call it monolingual if he speaks only one language. So that person is known as monolingual. I have already told you, for one language, because mono means one and bi means two and lingual means language. So bi is root word for two and lingual is the root word for language. So here I can write, for language we use a root word, that is lingual. So here you can easily learn this word. A person who believes in the existence of God, as I have already told you, that person is known as theist. One who thinks only of the welfare of women, that person is known as feminist. Now, there is a person who hates women, that is misogynist or misogynist, and a person who just think of the welfare of women, that person is known as feminist. One who loves mankind, this person is known as philanthropist. Now, I have already told you a word about misanthropist. So there, misan is used for hate and anthropos for human. Again, this anthropos is used for human and phil is used for love, or you can say phil is a root word for love. Excessively proud of oneself or one's achievements, this person is known as vainglorious. This type of person is also known as egocentric. Attractive or appealing in a sweet charming way, this person is known as winsome. Now let us move to the next one. Willing to take risks or to try out new methods, ideas, or experiences. This kind of person is known as adventurous. Hostile and aggressive. So, one who is very arrogant. That person is known as belligerent. Given to sudden changes of mood or behavior, this person is known as capricious. Resolute, steadfast in purpose. This person is known as determined. It means he's determined to and he knows what he wants to do. If he wants to do something, he will give his life to it, he will give his whole heart to it, and he will do the hard work as much as he can for just to achieve that particular thing. So he's determined, he's just stern towards that. Now let us move to the next one. Being able to understand and share the feelings of another, that person is known as empathetic or empathetic. Willful, stubborn, it means he's just stuck to one thing, that he wants only this thing, that is known as headstrong. Now, characterized by idealism, unrealistically aiming for perfection, this person is known as idealistic. Having good judgment, that person is known as judicious. So this is a judiciary term, you can relate it. Now let us move to the next one. Having a kind, compassionate nature, this person is known as kind hearted, who is very kind. He's very kind, compassionate nature. He can help others. Now very talkative. Now these type of person are known as loquacious. Showing great attention to detail, this person is known as meticulous. He believes in details of everything. Caring for and encouraging growth or development, this is known as nurturing. Now let us move to the next one. Ostentationnally, or you can say ostentatiously rich and luxurious or lavish. So this person is known as opulent. Ostentatiously. You can also say this ostentatiously. Engaged in deep or serious thought. This is known as pensive. Complaining in a petulant or winning manner. This is known as careless. Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. This is known as resilient. Grimly mocking or cynical. This is known as sardonic. Persistent, tenacious. Soft, courteous, and refined in manner. This is known as urbane. So urbane, you can relate it to civilized or urban. Lively and animated. This type of person is known as vivacious. Quick to discover, express, or understand what is amusing or clever. This person is known as witty. You must have heard some names like Birbal or Tenali Ram. So they were witty. Hospitable, especially to visiting strangers or foreigners. So that person is known as genial. It means one who is just of a welcoming nature, of helping nature, who is hospitable. It means who can show the hospitality to the foreigners. That person, the type of person is known as genial. Ready or likely to give way under pressure, accommodating. That person is known as yielding. Amusingly unconventional or idiosyncratic or syncretic. This is known as zany. Now let us move to the next one. showing or feeling no interest, enthusiasm, or concern. That person is known as apathetic. Now, there is a word pathy. Pathy means feeling. So, apathy shows no feeling. When we do not concern for anyone, that is known as no feeling at all. For example, suppose there is a person A, and if he looks around the world or the newspaper, he saw that there is a person Z and he died today. Now, he has no concern for him because he doesn't know about him. He doesn't know who he is. So, he has no feeling for that particular person. So, that is known as no feeling or apathetic. Cheerful indifference. This is known as blith. So, this was the ending part, or this was the ending word that we have read in this session. In the next session, we will discuss some more words related to personality. Thank you very much.